I'm 23, I've been on around 79 dates, and I've been in 0 relationships. So the maths isn't really mathsing. Even though I've not been in a relationship, I can tell you a lot of the dates that I've been on have been eye-opening. I'm talking the truth about older guys going after younger girls. The good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to dating apps. Being catfished by other people and being accused of being a catfish. And what it's like navigating dating as someone who's never had a relationship, never had a first kiss, never done a whole bunch of stuff. We have a lot to talk about. Hey, if you're new, I'm Christina and I make videos with people who are feeling lonely. If you're a people pleaser, overachiever, overthinker, over anythinger, you're in the right place. Being someone who's never been in a relationship puts you in a unique position. If you're anything like me, I feel like you know a lot about the world of dating. Maybe you've got friends, maybe you watch videos like this one. You know a lot and you've probably researched a lot, but like in terms of actual experience, it's probably a bit limited. Especially because, okay, yeah, you might have been on a lot of dates like I have, but like, have you been in a lot of relationships? Like, no. But there's a few key things which I just have to share, and I feel like if I knew this sooner, it would have made my dating experiences like a whole lot better. Starting off with, if you're trying too hard, it's an ick. What I've learned is that if you're trying too hard, you're either not ready yet or you're not with the right person. One of the first ever people that I ever matched with on a dating app was actually a really nice guy, and when I look back I was probably quite lucky because meeting this person and how like genuine and how nice they were set the standard for the next set of dates that I went on. So this person, we went on a couple of dates, and because he was such a genuine guy, I was like 19, never gone on a date before. I quickly learned that like, okay, I kind of like this guy, I'm kind of catching feelings, like this, it was going kind of well. But me being 19, being a little bit scared and being like super nervous, super new to all of this, I didn't really know how to communicate that. I remember thinking back, like when I was getting ready for some of the dates, I would make such an effort with my appearance. Like I was putting in like an hour, like a solid hour to get ready, to do my hair and makeup, or like to pick out my outfit. Like I was trying super hard with this person, and when I think back, I don't know if I was fully ready yet. Like I was almost trying too hard, because trying too hard, it's more than just like putting in so much time with your appearance. It's like rehearsing voice notes to make sure that they sound right and they sound a certain way, or it's like redrafting your message like 4, 5, 6 times to make sure that it's like the perfect message. Even when you're on a date, it's like if you're not listening to the other person because you're planning what you want to say next, you want to sound really cool and smart, so you're not even listening to them, you're just planning what you're going to say. Looking back, because I was trying hard in different ways and I was like nervous with the guy and I wanted to like impress him, I don't think I was ready. It's totally normal to have nerves, especially on a first date. That's totally normal, but I feel like if you've consistently got this thing where you're like trying and like you're really making an effort, like you're conveying a version of yourself that isn't like the whole version of you, maybe you just need a bit more time. Your choice of app doesn't matter, but your standards do. I don't care what anyone says. You can meet great people on Tinder. You can meet awful people on Hinge. You can meet terrible people on Bumble. Like the app itself really doesn't matter. It's just your standard. And what I mean by standards is like your filtering system. Like when it comes to choosing who you're going to like swipe on or who you're going to talk to, do not be afraid to be picky and be selective. This was a mistake I made. I remember when I first downloaded, I think Bumble, I don't know what my thinking was, but I was just like, I'm going to give everyone a chance. I'm going to swipe right on everyone. Like I don't want to be mean, I don't want to be harsh. Like who am I to judge people based on what they look like and their profile? Like let me just swipe right on everyone. Like, Christina, have some standards. You should be picky. You should be really selective. You should have a filtering system where you're like, I am not going to tolerate this. I'm not looking for this. I'm not looking for someone that, I don't know, their pictures are like half blurry, half like taken on a potato. Like have standards for what you want in a person. The whole like let me give everyone a chance is a red flag. You're about to have so many problems. You're probably gonna waste time talking to people that really just you would never have liked anyway. You just gave them a chance because you felt bad. Like this is more an insecurity problem than a dating problem. I think the reason why I was like giving everyone a chance was just because I was like a bit insecure and a bit like I was lacking confidence to like assert my standards. I didn't feel like I had the right to be like, this is who I'm not gonna date and this is who I am gonna date. I felt like I wasn't like deserving to make that decision, if you know what I mean. Like society has told women that like we're too picky and we're asking for too much. And I definitely internalized that, and I was thinking like, okay, I won't be like that. I'll swipe right on everyone. Like I'll just like date anyone. Like, but like no, like don't do that. If you don't do it earlier on, you're just probably going to set yourself up to have some disappointments and letdowns in the future. When you do actually start talking to these people and you quickly realize like, oh, like they don't have a job, or their job that they do have isn't really like up to the level of yours, if that's something that's important. Like, over communication is a myth. You can never over communicate. Stop playing it cool. Stop trying to play hard to get. Stop trying to be like mysterious and like secretive. Earlier when I was talking about that nice guy that I met that was like super genuine, we got along really well and I started to like him. Back then, I actually didn't open up about my feelings. I kind of just kept it as it was. I remember we kind of agreed that like we get along, but we'll just stay friends. Like we'll just kind of stay friends, keep in touch, and that'll be it. And that was all fine for a while, until it got to a certain point where we were talking as friends, meeting up, like just having a good time. And it was like, I am starting to get too many feelings now. Like, this is overwhelming. I'm really struggling to see this person regularly, to talk to them, to meet up with them, to chat to them. And it's like, I kind of like you a lot. So obviously, what did immature, don't know how to cope with your feelings 20-year-old Christina do? I literally had to like cut him off. I said out of the blue one day, like, don't really want to talk to you like ever again. Like, you okay with that? Like, when I think about it, it's actually insane. Like, I literally just had to cut him off. I remember I sent him this message, and in response he was like what? Like, I don't understand what I've done wrong. Like, is everything okay? He was so nice. I felt like, to this day, I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? I was so unable to cope with my emotions and deal with them and to communicate them that I potentially hurt someone else's feelings in the process. And to this day, I always feel bad about that, because I'm like, he thought he did something bad. He left that thinking like, oh, I've done something wrong. I've offended her. I've hurt her feelings. When actually, no, it was like, I just didn't know how to communicate. And because of that, I hurt someone else. Which is why I think sometimes that you really need to pay attention to the signals and the signs that maybe you're like not ready, because there's nothing stopping you when you're not ready to date. Like, you are a free person in the world as long as you're an adult. Like, you can literally go out and do whatever you want. There's no one stopping you. But little signs here and there can show you that you're not quite ready. Like, if you can't open up about your feelings, it's giving like you need a bit of time. Or if like you're trying super hard and you're super nervous before every single date, like you're trying so hard to put across a certain image and like put across like just the best version of yourself, it's just a sign that I think like you need a bit more time. Everything happens for a reason, so it's really not that deep if you do start dating too early or if you do kind of start when you're ready. It's literally not that deep either way. But the only reason why I'm like putting emphasis on it is because it's not fair when like someone else's feelings are hurt in the process, and that tends to happen when there's like a lack of communication in some sense. Don't assume that older guys are more mature. Older guys can be more mature, but they can also be more creepy and manipulative. I told this story on TikTok, but basically, I don't know, I've not uploaded it yet. I don't even know if I will upload it yet because it's such an embarrassing story. But essentially, I met a guy on Tinder. We were speaking here and there. We bonded over like our similar music taste, and we ended up going on a date. The day we went on was just like a coffee date, like a little walk in a park. We were getting along. He looked like his photos, which is an important part of the story. And essentially, I started talking about my childhood, like growing up in London. It was fun. Like I moved away from there now. He ended up talking about his childhood. And he said something like, oh yeah, growing up in the 70s. And this guy had on his profile that he was in his early 30s. So when he said growing up in the 70s, I was doing the maths like 70s, 80s, 90s, zeros, tens. Like, excuse me? Like, I was horrified. I was like, have I been catfished? You said you were in your early 30s. Why is it giving 40s, 50s? I literally sent one message after I got home, and I was like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. Bye. And I was just like, oh my god. Like, you know when you just feel like sick and you just feel like, oh, like that was weird. Other older guys that I've spoken to or gone on a date with haven't been as creepy as that, or haven't like lied as much as that, but definitely just, I know sometimes you see online, depending on which part of the internet you sit on, older guys are more mature, like they're providers, they're this, they're that, like just be so careful. Oh my gosh, like you could be speaking to a 50-year-old. He looked like his photos, you know, like I think he's at 33, I can't remember. He looked like that age, like I don't know. Oh gosh, it makes me feel sick. be sensible when it comes to the age that you are going for. You can always set a range, can't you, on all these apps and stuff, but just like be so careful. Also, life hack, my actual preference when it comes to like dating and stuff is don't always like go straight on a date. I think it's best when you kind of like have a quick phone call beforehand. Like sometimes it's like hard to arrange a time when you're both free and available to meet up, where it's a lot easier if it's just like a quick half an hour phone call in between, I don't know, on your lunch break or something, or like in the afternoon when you both finish late from work, you can squeeze in like a half an hour phone call. I found whenever I've done that, I found out like a lot more about the person, and I can kind of click, like just even from the tone of their voice and how the conversation goes, like will I actually like this person? Is it worth even going on a date? The more serious you are, the more stressful you're gonna feel. Sometimes it's really easy to take dating like super seriously, especially if you're someone who's never had a relationship or never done like literally anything. I'm a serious dater, but I don't take myself seriously. So there's casual dating and then there's serious dating. Casual can be like, I don't know, like hookups, or just casual, like you're dating people but you don't want a relationship. To me, serious dating is like, I want a relationship, I'm not doing the hookups, I'm serious about getting a boyfriend. But then the difference is I don't take myself seriously. Like I'm not the old me where showing up I would be so serious about looking a certain way and saying the right things, and like on the date I want to seem really smart. I'm gonna like it's so embarrassing to think about. I would like sometimes like do research before the date, like if they mentioned, I don't know, a movie or something that they like, or like an artist that I've never heard of, I would like do research on it and like look up some of their songs and look at the movie, and just like I would take it so seriously. And now I don't take myself seriously. Like I show up very much like a normal Christina. Like I'm not trying at all. If anything, I probably don't try enough nowadays. I'm no longer like instantly replying to messages or like calculating how much time I should wait for messages. Like I'm not like doing a whole algorithm in my head. Like, okay, they took 2 hours, I'll take 4 hours. Like I'm not doing that. I'm not policing what I'm saying, and like there's no more pressure on myself anymore. And I know that this is really common. Like it's really common to put pressure on yourself when you are dating. Like you want it to go right. Like you want it to work out. You want the date to work out. You want to figure out if that person's right for you or not. You want to present the best version of yourself. Like it's so hard to take that pressure off. But one thing I did want to share is this photo I saw on Pinterest. I thought explains love and relationships like so well. So it says, love is supposed to be the pleasant company in the front seat of your car, not the destination that you're desperately barreling towards. Love is nice, but it's not everything. It's not a replacement for dealing with your past traumas, a solution for pervasive feelings of emptiness, an alternative option to cultivating meaning and purpose in your personal life. I thought that summed it up so well. Like sometimes when I was in the old trying hard, like honestly desperate camp, I'm gonna just say it, I was desperate back then. When I was in the desperate camp, it felt like everything was riding on the date. Everything was riding on like me being like perfect and them being perfect for me. It just felt like so much pressure and tension. Now it's very much like an afterthought. Like I'm very much like okay, yeah, it's fine. Like I'll figure it out later. Like it's not like it doesn't occupy, like it's not at the forefront of my mind. And I know it's easier said than done, but I honestly think that when you become someone that has just a lot going on, and like you're working on things, you've got projects to worry about, like you've got a side hustle, you've got hobbies, like when you start to become like a really busy person that has a lot going on, it becomes a lot easier to make that shift from like being desperate and trying really hard to just have it being like an afterthought and something that will find you when you're ready. Honestly, I feel like the problem with dating is sometimes like it's not just like a me problem or a you problem. It can kind of be like a generational problem. I was talking about this in my Gen Z is undateable video, which I'll link here, but I feel like our generation has so many little quirks that make us like undateable, and just it makes us really hard to date each other. I touched on some topics in that video. Let me know if I should make another video like this, because I just feel like I have a lot more to say. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.